Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Could you believe it that it is the last month of the year? Happy December and happy holidays. Well, we have lots to look forward to. In this video, we're going to be talking about stimulus, but more specifically, the effect that it's been having on the economy. We've seen a lot of GOP opposition to stimulus programs and federal spending. So what is the response from the Biden administration? We'll be talking about that in today's video. But before we do, as always, make sure you guys do a couple things for me. Number one, you're going to want to go ahead and smash the like button. I'd greatly appreciate that. Just over that YouTube algorithm, it does support me and my channel, and it is free to do so. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed because we're going at a rapidly growing pace right now with subscribers. And as you guys know, the next cash giveaway will be giving away double the amount of cash that we hit when we did 10,000 subscribers. When we hit 20,000, we're going to be giving away double the amount of cash. You're not going to miss that. Free cash, all on me, out to my subscribers for your support. So make sure you're subscribed and also click that notification bell as well. Make sure you have notifications turned on. That way you know every single time we do post a brand new video or go live right here on this channel. So with that being said, let's get started and dive right in. So we've seen a lot of backlash from the Republican side and the GOP in regards to the never-ending spending from the Biden administration. Now, President Biden wants to pass a couple more $1 trillion, just like it's nothing. And so what is the Biden administration saying? More specifically, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, what are they actually saying in their defense in regards to this spending and why it's necessary? Well, according to the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, she actually says that the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill that was signed back in March of this year created stronger demand and it had a positive effect on the economy. However, it actually had very little to do with the inflation prices right now. In fact, it only contributed a small amount. I'm curious if you were a proponent of the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill signed back in March, or were you against the nearly $2 trillion stimulus package that President Biden signed into law? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on the American Rescue Plan. Now, Treasury Secretary Yellen, she actually told the House Financial Services Committee that the stimulus package clearly boosted demand, but said it was not a, quote, fair assumption to say it overshot the need and fueled current spikes in inflation. In other words, it had very little to do with it, and it is simply not a fair argument. She said, quote, it's certainly true that the American Rescue Plan put money in people's pockets and contributed to strong demand in the U.S. economy. But if you look at the amount of inflation that we have and its causes, that is at most a small contributor, which is nothing like what the GOP is saying and what they've been saying for many, many months now. High inflation is now running, though, more than at twice the Federal Reserve's flexible target of 2% annually. It's expected to ease in the second half of 2022, according to the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, as he told lawmakers at Wednesday's hearing. Janet Yellen was grilled by Republican lawmakers about the inflationary impact that President Biden's response to the pandemic had. She insisted that there was, quote, very good reason to proceed with the stimulus package to deal with a shortage of demand that could have resulted in long-lasting joblessness and high unemployment. Fair enough. She said, quote, it's been successful. It did boost demand, and that is one of several factors that are involved in inflation. So Janet Yellen, she is clearly in favor of President Biden's decisions thus far. She is in agreement with the stimulus package, and she believes that more spending is necessary. So with that being said, what does Yellen actually believe is the cause of this dramatic inflation that we've been seeing all over this country? Is it something that the Republicans are doing? Is it something that the Democrats are doing? What is the cause? Well, Janet Yellen simply believes that the main driver of this inflation was the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's still ongoing. And now you have the new Omicron variant, which, yes, we predicted on this channel right here that it was already in the U.S., and lo and behold, today, the first case was detected in California. So we've been on a roll with our predictions over those last couple of years. It's not necessarily my job, but just coincidence? What do you think? I don't know. We've been pretty good with our predictions. The pandemic has also had an impact in diverting demand away from services and massively towards goods, according to Janet Yellen, resulting in supply chain problems as well as a lasting effect on labor supply. Yellen also said that the pandemic had delivered, quote, an unusual shock to the workforce, and concerns about health issues were keeping many low-income workers from returning to their jobs. But that should recede as the pandemic was brought under control and as people are going off unemployment and back to work. Okay, so Janet Yellen believes that President Biden's stimulus bill that was signed back in March had very little to do with inflation. But what about these new trillions of dollars of fiscal spending? Does that have any contribution to this inflation? Well, according to Yellen, Biden's plan for $1.75 trillion in further social and climate spending over the next decade was relatively small to the U.S. economy, and it was paid for and would lead to improvements that lowered deficits, according to Yellen. She said, quote, "It puts in place investments that will continue to bring down deficits. It will improve the supply side of the economy, which is, in the long run, a factor that will tend to mitigate ongoing inflationary pressures." So no, she is also on Biden's side in regards to this spending. She is all for it. Now, what do you believe? Do you think she's wrong? Do you believe that she is just defending her administration because Biden did appoint her back after the previous Treasury Secretary? Or do you believe she is correct and really it had little to do with the prices that we're seeing right now and it has no effect? They're actually not linked whatsoever. What are your thoughts? Let us know down below in the comments. Yellen then sparred for a second day with Republican lawmakers who cited a Congressional Budget Office or CBO estimate that the Build Back Better legislation would add $367 billion to the U.S. deficits over a decade, to which Yellen, well, she stuck to her argument that the CBO estimate does not include the effects of increased IRS or Internal Revenue Service enforcement, which the Biden administration has estimated would boost revenues by $400 billion over a decade. And according to the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, he said just recently this week that the Fed may end its pandemic-era stimulus much sooner than expected. The Fed is expected to taper its investments, and Jerome Powell believes that it's no longer appropriate at this point. The central bank just announced this week that it would be tapering its monthly asset purchases, and Jerome Powell said that he believes the rate that they were previously going at as far as purchases was just not appropriate right now at this point as far as we are into the pandemic and with the economy so much recovered. Powell specifically said, quote, "At this point, the economy is very strong and inflationary pressures are high, and it's therefore appropriate, in my view, to consider wrapping up the taper of our asset purchases, perhaps a few months sooner." He added, quote, "We're going to have a discussion about accelerating that taper at the upcoming December meeting. The central bank will give and update its policies on December 15th. So we will find out a lot more about the Fed's point of view right now with the economy and where it stands." So that is what we know so far. That is what we know in regards to stimulus. That's what we know about the Fed's stimulus and the opinions of the Biden administration. So what are your thoughts? Let us know down below in the comments, but more updates and developments will follow suit. We'll be sure to update you guys after that Fed meeting come the middle of this month. More updates are to come. If you did enjoy this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button. I'd appreciate that. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Click that big red button and that notification bell. And if you want to get some free stocks, all on me, all free, just go ahead and use those links down below in the description of this video. Sign up with the brokerage platforms Robinhood and or Webull. You get some free stocks, some of them valued up to thousands of dollars in free money. No gimmicks, no obligations, all free stocks. Use the links down below in the description. And if you want to check me on social media, I'm on Instagram at Logan Cohn, LOGANKOHN, right there on your screen. Hope you enjoyed this one. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care for now.